Okay, sorry. There is a part two to the narrative therapy. Um, so, everybody hates real. When she was 13, she was counting down the days until she was 18 and she'd be free of them. She dreamed of going to California and being an actress. She still dreams of acting. Acting is what she knows best. She knows her mask has slipped on many occasions and let a bit too much of herself out. This almost always led to rejection. She feels like an alien. She feels like she's a computer with bad code. She feels like a failure. She didn't go to California. She stayed because she was afraid she'd fail. And she stayed because she still had to do what was expected of her from her parents. She married and had 3 kids. She managed the people in her adult home the same way she managed the people in her childhood home. Eventually, the weight got too heavy for her. She couldn't work anymore and manage all the moving pieces in her life. She went on disability and still struggled with the weight of the mask. Her parents died in 2016. She wanted to move to Arizona or California, Oregon, or Washington. Her husband was supportive for a time, but he eventually said, "Here is home." Anna left her 18-year relationship in 2018. She has struggled with relationships. She feels even more alien than she ever has before. People say all sorts of nice things about her. They say she's pretty. She feels like a hag because she sees her mother in the mirror. People tell her she's kind, sweet, articulate, smart, self-aware, and awesome. She hears these things and wonders how she can be so alone if these things are so true. She's been called inappropriate by many different people on a multitude of occasions. This shames her, but she wonders what was inappropriate. She will talk about almost anything openly and honestly, and a lot of people think it means something. To her, she's just having a conversation about something that's part of the human condition or everyday life. She's not a girly girl and prefers men. She feels less confined in their company. Females tend to ignore her and reject her anyway. She has little interest in what the typical female talks about. What she wants most in life is to find someone like herself, someone who's a true confidant, someone who just gets her and they are inseparable. She doesn't care about sex. She just wants connection. She wants someone who wants to stay. She wants to have adventures with them, even if it's just a hypothetical scenario. She's tired of shallow and banal and inconsistent people who aren't on her level. She's tired of rejection, tired of hope, tired of being left behind like garbage and forgotten. Now, that was the end of my first project of narrative therapy. I read that to my therapist, and he was like, "Okay, I know a little bit more about you now." You know, there was some stuff I left out because it just didn't fit when the words were flowing. It just didn't fall out. Because there's a lot more damage. I laugh about it, but it's not really funny. There's a lot more damage. A lot more stuff. The next project is probably gonna be a little difficult for me. And maybe not. Like, I'll wait until the day before to do it, because that's how I do assignments. When I'm given an assignment, I wait till the day before to do it. But the next one is supposed to be, what is the programming? You know, um, what's the core programming installed is supposed to be the next topic. When I was writing this thing, I just, as I got to the very end of it, I was like, man, I just feel more alone than I ever did. Because, like, look at, like, I've spent my whole life trying to be normal. And I don't know if I succeeded in that at any point in time. Like, I got in trouble a lot as a kid for not following the rules, for going off script, per se. Like, if I didn't smile for the picture, or if if the pictures came back and there was a picture of me like actually showing emotion on my face other than what they expected to see, like I was supposed to be shiny happy, I'd get in trouble for that. So, you know, in adult life, I am very much, I think that's one thing that sticks, is that when I know it's the time to be rude, to be offended, to be mad, I freeze up. And at times, you know, when things happen or have happened to me, it's like my throat closes up. I can't say anything. It's like I just freeze because I know that I should be saying something or I should be doing something. And it goes completely against the programming. Because what I didn't write is that I wasn't allowed to be mad. I heard, what the hell you got to be mad about? You know, like, you know, just the constant invalidation and shit. And that'll probably be part of the programming. But my parents were not normal. And so I could only do a certain semblance of normal. And there's always going to be bits of me that come out that should stay inside. There's always going to be people who are going to say, hey, say less. And it's like, but there's context and background, and I don't want to be misunderstood. Like, I want you to feel the gravity that I carry. And not necessarily feel it, but, you know, and I also didn't talk about the other times I've blacked out. Like I did mention, I blacked out when I was a kid. There's been 2 other times I've blacked out. You couldn't tell me something happened, and like I just completely, it's not there. I was scared when I had children that I would black out during that whole process. Oddly enough, I did not. I was present. Now, I mean, we're supposed to be doing cohesion therapy, but he just looked up narrative therapy and thought, well, hey, she likes to write stuff. She likes to talk. And, you know, like, maybe this will be a fun project for her. And I still haven't done the research on it. But yeah, it's my life that I wrote about, and I left some things out because they just didn't flow in, or I didn't want to talk about them because, like, when I finished the night before therapy, I just felt so pathetic, so wrong, so alien, like so much more. I said, you know, thinking on some things and not being able to grab other things really, you know, like there are things I don't want to think about because if I think about them, they'll make me not want to live. And I don't want to not want to live. Did that come out right? I want to live. But if you ask me, what does living look like? I don't know. I mean, because like my idea of living costs money. So what does living look like when you're broke? You know, what does living look like that isn't dangerous? Like, I guarantee you, people who jump from planes, they're alive. Unless their parachute fails. But what does living look like? You know, just like when somebody says, what do you like to do for fun? I'm like, what is fun? Like, I like to read. I like listening to music, but is that fun or just something I do? I don't know. It's hard for me to do all that. So, anyway, bye.